Russia as a modern state began to form under Ivan the Terrible, Grand Duke of Moscow, who became the first Tsar in 1547. During his reign, he conquered the first non-Slavic states of the empire, the Khanates of Kazan and Astrakhan, thus assuming control of the Volga River and access to the Caspian Sea. But his invasion of the Crimea in the south failed, and his attempt to gain access to the Baltic Sea in the west resulted in the 25-year-long Livonian Wars. In the east, the Cossacks under Yermak Timofeyevich began the conquest of Siberia, a region that extended all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Michael Romanov, grandnephew of the first wife of Ivan, was elected to Tsar by a national assembly in 1613, beginning the Romanov dynasty that would rule for 300 years. During his reign, explorers and traders further extended Russian rule into Asia as the power of the Mongol Empire waned. Poland and Sweden had invaded Russia during the time of troubles that preceded the accession of Michael Romanov, but the territory that had been lost was recovered during two Polish wars, in 1634 and 1667. The reign of Peter the Great brought the beginning of both a modern and an imperial Russia. He was the first ruler to travel outside of the country and return to transform Russia from an Asian to a European state. After 20 years of struggle with Sweden in the Great Northern War, as well as war with Ottoman Turkey and Persia, Peter not only established Russia's international position, but added Estonia and most of Latvia to the empire, finally gaining the long-desired ports on the Baltic Sea. As a symbol of Russia's modernization, Peter built the new capital, St. Petersburg, to increase trade with the West. Catherine the Great gained the throne in 1762 and vastly expanded the Russian Empire. With the annexation of the Crimea, the centuries-old dream of establishing itself on the shore of the Black Sea was finally realized. The first Russian settlement was established in North America near Kodiak in modern Alaska, and successful wars against the Turks secured the Crimea, against the Poles resulted in 3 partitions of Poland to the west, and against the Swedes expanded Russia's borders to the north. To the south and east, further Russian expansion was at the expense of the Ottoman and Chinese empires. While Russia had an empire, France aspired to one. In 1812, Napoleon's forces invaded deep into Russia, sacking Moscow before the brutal winter forced his retreat. The 19th century was an era of new empires vying for power during the decline of the old. In the Crimea in the 1850s, the Russians faced the combined forces of France, England, Sardinia, and Austria as they struggled over territory from the fading Ottoman Empire. Far-flung empires had costs. With the sale of Alaska to the United States in 1867, Russia ended its ambitions in North America. To distract from domestic problems, Nicholas II embarked on imperialist adventures in the Far East, provoking a war with Japan. The resulting humiliating defeat led to the Russian Revolution of 1905. World War I caused Russia to lose territory along its western front. Such severe defeats led to the overthrow of the Tsar by the Bolsheviks in 1917, who capitulated to extract themselves from the conflict. There followed a civil war which ultimately secured both the power of Lenin and the Communist Party and established the Soviet Union. Soon after gaining power, the Bolsheviks returned the capital to Moscow. During Stalin's rule, Russian territory lost in earlier wars was retaken, first by the defeat of Finland in 1940, and then of Germany and Japan at the end of World War II. Immediately after the war, a network of puppet governments in Eastern Europe was created by the Soviet Union as a buffer from future aggression. In 1991, the reform policies of Mikhail Gorbachev led to a resurgence of nationalism within the republics, and a failed coup led to the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the Communist Party. Today, Russia is a separate sovereign state in a region of independent nations, once territories to be taken or lost in the struggles of empires, countries like Latvia, Estonia, and Azerbaijan.